Welcome back. It's been 1 year since my original ATKORE video. It's done really well for me, so what I wanted to do was review it because, like a lot of you who bought at that time, I just had my gains turn from short-term into long-term gains, so it's a pretty big tax difference for me, so I wanted to see, is it possibly even worth selling, or just really, I just wanted to do a fresh look at it since I have another quarter of results since my last video. So I have revenue here, and like I said, I now have the March data, you see, and not just, I think my last video just had December. And we have come up a little bit, but I'm not going to do a full deep dive into the financials. For stocks that I already own and already know about, I think the best thing to do is to just check the cash flow statement. So I'm going to go over there to the cash flow statement. And here's free cash flow, but that's not really what I'm interested in. I mean, in a way I am, but I just want to look at operating cash flow, investing cash flow, and financing cash flow. Pretty much just check to make sure that the cash is doing what I'm expecting it to do, right? I'm not looking for, putting a valuation on these sorts of things. I'm just doing a checkup. Hey, I was expecting them to be making lots of money and then returning it to shareholders. That's the case of ATKORE, so that's what I'm checking for. You can see the cash flow still elevated, $200 million a quarter. That's good on the operating cash flow side. I would also look at investing. This will be CapEx, and I think acquisitions also go under here. That's got to be what this big one is, but I'm not sure. And then lastly, the big one is financing cash flow. I'm always looking at this for stocks I own. This one's probably the most important to me because positive financing cash flow would be kind of a red flag consistently, and negative financing cash flow means that they're spending money to do things like either paying down debt, paying dividends, doing share buybacks, that sort of thing, and you can see it's very negative, which checks the box for me, okay? Oftentimes, if stuff isn't looking great in the future, you'll see the financing cash flow start to drop off, right? Because the company has an insight into the future market. So let's say they see a slow market, cooling market, in the future, so they're like, oh, I think our stock's going to come down. Do you think they're going to buy back as much shares? Probably not, right? But if they see a strong market, they're just going to continue to pump that money into financing cash flow. So that's what I like to see, All right, and of course there are some exceptions. There's probably a lot of exceptions where management knows less about the future than you. But anyway, I don't think ATKORE is one of them, and I'm going to touch on that in a little bit as well. So like I said, they've been my top performer, but what I wanted to do was look at the whole industry, right? Because sometimes you pick a winner and really the whole industry has been a winner, because then you can kind of be like that duck in a pond who thinks he's moving up in the world, but really it's just raining, right? So I'm going to go to ATKORE's 10K. So let me pull that up. This is their SEC filings page. Real quick, how you do that, you go, year annual filings. Oh, they don't have their 10K for 2023 yet. Okay, here's 2022 is good enough. And basically what I want to do is look at the competitors section. It'll be somewhere close to the beginning. Let's see. Competition. Okay, so ATKORE does a good job laying out, like, they literally name their competitors. Here's on their electrical side, Zekelman, Mitsubishi, Nucor, Southwire, Duraline, Encore Wire. And then on the safety and infrastructure, again, Zekelman, Eaton, Hubbell, Invent, and Hayden. So what I did was look at all of these that were public, and I wanted to put them on a list and see how did those do in the last year as well. So let me pull that up now. So first up, ATKORE, just to start off, their 1-year return has been about 78%. Eaton next, they're going up too. I mean, it's been less, but still pretty significant, right? 56, 57%. Hubbell Incorporated, same thing, right? 79%. That's higher than ATKORE, actually. Invent Electric, let's see, 63%. Yep, again, another one that's going up. Mitsubishi, now they're a huge company that they're not directly in competitor with ATKORE in every single facet, right? They're much larger. Look at that, 74%. Nucor, mainly steel, but I guess it's tied to ATKORE's market, 58%. And then Encore Wire, another one that's been running up recently, 89%. Okay, so it maybe is that kind of duck in a pond situation where the industry itself is performing really well. And so if you would have picked any one of these stocks, then you would have felt like you picked a golden ticket, right? But really, if you would have picked any of them, you would have been okay. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you'd rather the whole market be up than down, right? But still, it's good for an ego check, if nothing else, right? I'll say real quick, of all of these, the one that's the most intriguing to me is Wire. The reason I've stayed away from wire though is that I feel like it's very, very specific, and that if I was going to invest there, I'd have to, really understand just like the copper market, because they do almost nothing but copper wire, right? Whereas ATKORE, I think, has a hand in everything, whether it's, on the you have PVC, steel, copper, that sort of. Anyway, I like ATKORE's product mix better. I don't think that that's a reason for somebody else to stay out of wire. That's just my take. All right, but anyway, ATKORE, one exception, and that's what I wanted to talk about as well. Look at this. 1 week ago, their president and CEO was named the Entrepreneur of the Year for the Midwest. So that's always a good thing, right? Because one thing great multi-bagger companies have in common is a good CEO. I think that you can make 2x, 3x just finding undervalued companies and waiting for it to be realized. But I think if you want to tie yourself to a long-term winner, you got to have a good CEO. And, getting an award like this doesn't mean that much to me, not really, but it's better than not getting it, right? But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I'll be doing another video on them whenever their next quarter results come out, so look out for that. And then let me know if you have any other stocks you want me to look at. I'm always looking for recommendations or just topics you want to hear me talk more about. But anyway, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Like, subscribe. I'll see you next time.